We are going to do 2b right now. We are going to leave 2a for after we have made our own unit circles and have memorized them and really have them well known. But for 2b, it says determine the value of cotangent 12 pi over 5. Notice there's no degree sign, so that means determine the value of cotangent of 12 pi over 5 radians. Now, if I gave you a question in degrees, so this is the thing that you have to do. You have to say, how would I do the same question if it was degrees? If I gave you a random cotangent of 220 degrees, how do you find the value of that using your calculator? There's no cotangent button on your calculator. Right? We know that cotangent of any angle is 1 over tan of that angle, right? Tan and cotangent are reciprocals. And so if I wanted to find cotangent of 220 degrees, I could type into my calculator tan of 220 degrees. Notice, this is the important thing because the mistakes are going to happen with radians. Notice that angle is the same. Theta in one place is theta in the other place. Okay? The reason I point that out is because when we get to cotangent of 12 pi over 5, it's equal to 1 over tan of 12 pi over 5. And some of you are going to be tempted to flip that fraction. The angles never get flipped. The angles stay the same. Cotangent theta is equal to 1 over tangent theta. The thetas are the same. The angles don't change. So now the question is, how do I type this? Because I have a tan button, but how do I type this into my calculator? So I bring up my calculator. And the first thing I need to do is, since my angle is in radians, I need to tell my calculator that I'm in radians. So I go to my mode button, and currently degree is highlighted, so I need to go down to radian and highlight radian instead. So you're going to have to often, if one question is going to be in degrees, switch to degrees. Next question's in radians, switch to radians. You're going to have to be able to go to your mode button and switch between radians and degrees often. Now that I'm in degrees, I can go 1 over tan. And if you have, oops, 1, there we go. 1 over tan, and if you have the fraction button, make sure you use it because it sure makes things nice that you can write things in exactly as you see them. 1 over 12 pi over 5. And then when I push enter, 0.324, 0.325, 0.33, 0.32. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. Did you see that the answer was 0.3249 dot dot dot? Should this be rounded to 0.32 or to 0.33? It's closer to 0.32, right? Be careful of double rounding. If you accidentally rounded this to 3 decimal places first, you get 0.325. And then you're like, oh, and now I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. You'd write 0.33, which would make a mistake rounding. Because 0.3249 is still closer to 0.32 than it is to 0.33. But sometimes if we round twice, we could get into that error. Okay, questions for practice off of this one are 6 and 11.